Welcome to Eternal Freedom. Today we're going to explore contemplation. But before we do, I just briefly want to touch on a couple of other key practices that are foundational to contemplation. So the first practice is attention. Attention, as the name suggests, is about attending to a subject or an object. And the longer your attention on a particular subject or an object, the longer your span of attention is. The other key practice is awareness. There are two key aspects to awareness. So the first thing is about the perspective from which you're becoming aware. And that perspective is really key because it's like you're standing on a mountain and you have a certain observation from that mountaintop. If you then go to the valley, then you get another different perspective, different view. So similarly with awareness as well, there is an awareness from an egoic point of view, but there's also an awareness which is more deeper from an experience point of view. And then lastly, there's an awareness from a point of view of oneness. So more deeper your point of view, more wider your awareness will be. And just like a span of attention, the span of awareness, which is the second piece, is key, because wider your field of awareness, more complete your observation will be, and more inclusive your view of all the experiences will be. So these two elements, these two practices are the foundational components when you are contemplating. Why they are foundational is because when you contemplate, you typically have to pick a topic, or you contemplate on a word, on a phrase, or a sentence. And in order for you to contemplate on it, you need to focus. You need to have a sufficiently long attention span to be able to contemplate on it. So let's say we pick a word like emptiness. I want to contemplate on emptiness. So the first thing is I'll look at the word emptiness. I'll ask some basic questions in order for me to focus my mind on emptiness. And those questions might be, what does the word emptiness mean for me? How do people use the word emptiness? And how can I apply this word emptiness into my day-to-day life? And if I'm looking at things from a spiritual point of view, I might want to know, how can I get to that state of emptiness? Is that even possible? Or what is that state of emptiness? So these are all questions that are meant to focus your mind on the word, on the phrase. And more you focus, more you ask these questions, and these questions you end up then training your mind to pay attention to this word and attributes of this word. And the second piece then is awareness. When you ask those questions, so initially, though, the responses or the answers to those questions will probably come from a egoic perspective, that which you know, that which you have stored in your memory. So that's where your answers will initially come from. But as you question more, as you go deeper, you'll find that the mind does not have the answers to those questions. And in fact, some of those questions are beyond your understanding, and the answers cannot be given by what you currently know. So what then happens is there's a deeper level of introspection or reflection that starts taking place. And at that point, your intuitive mind may get triggered. Your connection with the universal mind may get established, because your thinking gets silent. And the awareness is necessary at that stage, because as you observe the questions, the responses, your mind becomes quieter and quieter and quieter. And it gets to a point where you have then connected to the universal memory, the universal mind, or the guru field. And when that happens, you will get deep insights into the phrase or the word that you have been contemplating on. And at that point, you might go, now I get it. Now the penny has dropped. Now I really understand what it means. So that moment of realization, or that moment of deep insight, is one where deep level of introspection or contemplation is required. But at that point, not only is your attention maintained on the topic, but also you have a state of awareness, which then ensures that your thinking processes, the egoic processes, are to a minimum level, and the lesser they are, the more deeper the more easier for you to get that insight, the more deeper the insight will be. So the other aspect of contemplation is that contemplation also creates that doorway into creativity, just by virtue of this combination of attention, awareness, and then as you contemplate, you get to a point where you are able to create something new. When I say creativity, I am talking about creativity to a point where it's not an incremental creativity. It's kind of a deep kind of creativity, a revolutionary creativity that happens only when you have created that gap in thinking. You've quietened the mind, but you're still aware, but you're still focused on an object. So it's a little bit hard to kind of explain this, and my suggestion would be to practice it. Do it for 5 minutes, or do it for longer, and just pick an object, pick a word or a phrase, and then contemplate on it. And the more you contemplate, just like anything else, the better you get. So practice makes perfect. So these three practices of attention, awareness, and contemplation, they are absolutely fundamental in any spiritual progress or any spiritual path you may take, be it devotional path, be it the path of energies, path of action, or path of knowledge. So that's all there is around contemplation, and I would love to hear from you how you've gone with the experiment around contemplation. Thank you.